Or to know. Ryuki Chapter 1. Nice Japan Branch, February 11th, 2005.
Welcome. I am the president of the Japanese Knives at Laws branch, Tokiko Shigure.
I apologize for visiting so late at night. I'm from the Metropolitan Police Department.
Mr. Ryuki, is it? Mamoru, my secretary, has already informed me. I hear you've come to ask about Jin Furue's murder.
The bodyguards found a new job. This is the president's office on the top floor of the building containing the Japanese branch of Knives at Laws, commonly known as NICE. When I synced with Chikara earlier, Tama and I saw something in his Somnium. Someone who looked like they were in NICE was making the Bats 490 video. And that's why we ended up here. We came to the president's office to talk to the top level of NICE. A pond? Well, it's sure not a river. Oh, we'll go with pond for now. Maybe you could call it a river, depends on where this is going. It does look very nice though. Although I don't want to fall down there. What do we have? An uninteresting statue apparently. An office desk, a chair, fancy chair.
That's the Nanyapul X, the symbol of Knives.
Nanyapul means consisting of 9. You know how there's single, double, triple? Nanyapul is the 9th.
So Nanyupal X means 9?
Seems so.
Did you know that Knives at Laws is derived from 9x lozenge? Lozenge referring to a diamond shape. In other words, Knives at Laws means the 9 X's of the diamond.
Okay, but what does that symbol actually have to do with the number 9? Because I can't find anything that it contains 9 of. Well. A light. Multiple lights, actually. The house plants. Another statue. As strange as all of them. And... waterfall.
Why would they make something like this indoors?
Have you looked at it? Why wouldn't you make something like this indoors?
Who knows?
Mamoru. Say something funny.
Something funny. There, I said it.
Something
Your
funny.
badge.
That's something phony.
What is this? A vaudeville routine? That wasn't funny at all.
You're Tokiko's secretary?
Yeah, but I'm also her bodyguard. I used to be a bodyguard for a certain politician until the end of last year. But he was a piece of human garbage. I slugged him in the face and resigned. Then ended up here thanks to an acquaintance introducing me.
But nice.
I was only hired recently. I don't know much about it, really.
Well, we'll see about that.
It was a heat of the moment thing, but I ended up quitting my job. I don't regret punching that scumbag, but... what am I going to do now? I've got 10 children to think about.
10?
What? A job? With the conditions I requested? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do anything, as long as it's not illegal.
Well... Tokiko, how did you end up here?
I had a very hard time finding the place. After all, NICE is a secret organization hidden from the public.
That's a good thing Boss just happened to know someone who knew this location. Otherwise, we would have been out of luck.
Even after I got inside the building, it wasn't easy. The guards, the security gates, if I hadn't met Mamoru at the entrance, I probably wouldn't even have made it to this office.
I know about Abyss, and I know it's trustworthy. That's why I let you through to talk to the president.
She didn't actually answer my question at all. What were you doing around 6 AM on the 9th?
Judging by the way you asked that, I assume that's Jin's estimated time of death?
Well, yes.
I was in Okinawa from the night of the 8th. I had a seminar to attend on the 9th and 10th. I returned to Tokyo late last night.
I checked the logs for hotels and airports, her smartphone access points, and the security footage for each location. It's true that Tokiko was in Okinawa from the 8th to the 10th.
So she has an alibi.
As long as you presume Jin's body wasn't brought back with her from Okinawa.
That's good. About Nice.
Anyway, I was surprised. I had heard of NICE, the secret organization, but I thought it was just an urban legend. I can't believe it actually exists.
Yes, there has been all sorts of gossip about us. Some claim we're a secret society of Satanists, or that we have something to do with a sequence of binary code that came from space. But that's all nonsense. Made-up stories that become more and more embellished as they were passed on. Rumors are quite a terrifying thing. NICE is a perfectly legitimate ideological society. Our headquarters are located in New York, with many branches in cities throughout the world. This is one such branch.
Nice is an ideological society.
This is a common misconception, but NICE is not a religious organization. We are a group of like-minded individuals who act together based on a certain understanding of the universe.
That is a religious organization.
And that is?
The simulation theory. Have you heard of it?
That the world is an artificial simulation of reality created by someone or something. That's the theory.
You're saying everything in this world we're living in isn't real?
Yes. It's a false world constructed with specific rules by a program. And if it is made by a program, there must by necessity be imperfections, edges, or seams. To find these seams, or to create them, is our objective.
Why would you do that?
If you tear at the seams of a cloth, it will unravel, and a hole will be created. Thusly, we will tear at the seams of the program until it is unraveled, and its people are emancipated.
Wouldn't that just destroy everything? You included.
That is our ultimate goal.
I mean, maybe that's part of her ultimate goal, I'm just saying.
This old hag has completely lost it.
How will you tear the seams of the world?
The intersection between the warp and weft. That's where the seam can occur.
I don't understand.
You will someday. It is a prophecy. It will be fulfilled eventually.
What is that?
It's a hand sign we use. It's meant to resemble the sign behind me.
I mean, meant to is the right word for that, yeah. Can you show me the hand sign again? This hand sign is supposed to be that symbol behind Tokiko. What about again? This hand sign is supposed to be that symbol behind Tokiko. What again? Again. Again. Okay. What if we just keep going? Will she keep showing it to us? No. She will keep showing it to us. There won't be anything happening. That's a shame. About Bats 490.
Considering the fact that you are here, I assume it would be pointless to hide it. Indeed. I had my subordinates create that video. Bats 490 was an ARG. Just a game. But there was a high-level encryption hiding a message within. We have been seeking high IQ individuals with the capability to decode it. The purpose was to recruit them into NICE.
So this QR video was made for the same reason?
I am aware of that video. I saw it on the news. However, it's completely unrelated to NICE. I assume someone made it with the intent to imitate Bats 490.
What do you think, Tama?
Hard to say on that alone.
About Chikara.
Do you mean the man from Horodori Institute of Genetics?
So you do know him. I'm actually here because of a tip I got from him.
Chikara is under arrest?
No, he was just released earlier. We didn't have enough evidence to keep him detained.
I see.
About your relationship with Chikara.
Chikara is a former member of NICE, though this was over 20 years ago. When he left us, he became an avid believer in the Order of Percent.
Order of Percent?
It's an organization that split off from NICE. You could say they are a sect. The Order of Percent is a religious sect, whereas we are an ideological society. Despite our common roots, we are heading in completely different directions.
Then how did Chikara know that NICE created Bats 490?
I wouldn't know about that. Perhaps he asked an acquaintance from NICE.
Do you introduce us?
By the way, would you mind if I asked you a question?
Go on.
What is it?
Are you perhaps a Freyer?
Freyr?
Ray. I thought I heard that somewhere before. Yes, it was in the QR. No, it was above the QR code, wasn't it?
I am asking the person within you.
What?
I will ask you one more time. Are you a Freyer?
Prayer. She looks so angry when she's saying it. Okay. Was it? I feel like I remember in the context of the QR, of the sign thing, it was a good thing, but I don't quite remember what it was. Yes?
Hey, Ryuki.
As I thought. Then you've realized this world is fictional. Am I correct?
Let's just go with it.
Ryuki, what's gotten into you?
I want to see where this goes.
Then please tell me the nil number. If you truly are a Freyer, you should know it.
God damn it. Another part where we're not yet, where we don't have the knowledge to continue yet. Okay. You know what? Okay. Right. We have no idea.
So, you don't know. In other words, you lied.
No good. She saw right through it. I thought that I could get her to keep talking if I faked my way through it.
Way to go.
What is a nil number? What is a Freyer? Frey. Right. I remember now.
It was written on that sign.
Frey to free.
Yeah, that's what
Frey
it was.
can mean fight, but it can also mean to wear out or tear.
Ah, there it is. Yeah, I couldn't remember that.
Remember what Tokiko said. Their ultimate goal is to break down this world and emancipate its people.
Miss Shigure, are you sure Nyes didn't make the QR video?
We did not.
But the word Frey was written on that sign in the QR code.
We of Nyes are only involved in Bats 490, which we created half a year ago. We are not the ones who created the QR video. The word Frey being displayed on that sign must be a coincidence.
That can't be just a coincidence.
Oh, but it can. After all, we are living in nothing but a simulation, a false world created by a program. And such programs always have some glitches lurking under the surface. We call such glitches seams. Coincidences like this are a manifestation of such glitches. Proof of imperfection. Proof of the seams. The appearance of Jin's corpse is also likely to be an example of such phenomenon.
What?
Are you familiar with the Philadelphia experiment?
Heard of it, but I have no connection to what it was.
It's a top-secret military experiment that's said to have taken place in the American city of Philadelphia on October 28, 1943. A powerful electromagnetic wave was fired towards the USS Eldridge, a destroyer-class warship. Supposedly, the reason for doing this was to conceal the ship from showing up on radar. But as soon as the experiment began, something strange happened. The Eldridge was enshrouded in a greenish mist, then vanished. Afterward, it appeared at a military port in Norfolk, nearly 200 miles away from the shipyard in Philadelphia. Sometime later, it reappeared in its original position again.
So you're saying it teleported?
Well, it's nothing but an urban legend. Just an occult story with low credibility.
I relate Tama's story directly to Tokiko.
Yes, exactly. However, the story doesn't end there. When the USS Eldridge returned to Philadelphia, there were several sailors on board, but some of them had melted like a rotten banana, while others ended up with their bodies entirely burned and blackened. Others were said to have merged with the steel hull, their bodies having become a piece of the ship.
Did anyone actually survive?
Does that sound familiar?
You mean Jin? Are you saying his right half teleported here?
It isn't impossible. If a seam was torn, that is.
Impossible.
Yoyagi Park, 2205.
You like this park, don't you, Ryuki?
I feel calm when I'm around nature. It's like I can feel the buzz inside me quieting down. Tama, what do you think about what Tokiko said earlier? Is something like teleportation really possible?
Hey, come on. I told you the Philadelphia experiment is just an urban legend.
How else can you explain what happened with Jin? We can't deny that his right half suddenly appeared out of nowhere.
Jeez. Then why don't we find out for ourselves?
What do you mean? You want to go to the studio right now?
No need. Just close your eyes.
My eyes?
Just do it!
Okay. What the? Did we teleport here?
No.
Are you serious?
We're in Studio Devita, aren't we?
It just seems that way. We're not actually there.
Last night, I scanned every nook and cranny of the scene.
What you're looking at now is what I replicated using that data.
Wow. It's like I'm actually there. The corpse looks so real.
Want me to put a mosaic over it?
Uncensored is fine.
Now, less digressing and more investigating. Your objective is to solve the mystery behind the sudden appearance of Jin's right half.
All right, let's start looking around.
Virtual reality activation. The VR allows you to walk around the scene and gather information. Tama's special vision mode, such as X-ray mode, can be applied to everything. By changing the special mode, what you can inspect will change. Utilize this to find hidden information. Wouldn't the fact that Tama can do that already mean that she knows all of this? Why does she make me look for it? Alright, what modes do we have? X-ray.
Wow, I can switch to X-ray mode too.
That's because I've gathered all data from the scene.
Okay. I can see the back of the set. There are a bunch of mannequins here. Okay. Okay. What else?
The bottom part of the signboard is stuck pretty deep in there.
There's a bit of a curve at the tip. Kind of like a man's, you know what?
Couldn't you have compared it to a fish hook or something?
Well, it won't come out easily. Whoever stuck it in probably didn't want it pulled out.
Of course not. A signboard would be useless unless it's standing.
It's useless unless it's standing?
Let's not go there.
No, that's not what I meant.
The signboard was stuck in the corpse, so it's difficult to remove. Okay, and the corpse itself.
What's this? There's something inside the body.
3 things catch my attention.
Yes.
First, a mixture of potassium chlorate, sulfur, and red phosphorus. This is probably a fire starter. It would ignite very easily. The fuse is coiled up and extends from there. By the way, the fuse includes an oxidizing agent, so it can continue to burn even inside the body. And finally, at the end of the fuse is a powder mixture of iron oxide and aluminum. This is a substance that causes a thermite reaction. When ignited, it creates heat of over 3,000 degrees Celsius and burns violently.
Inside the corpse is fuel that goes off with even the slightest impact. The fuse and the substance that causes a thermite reaction. So, essentially it would have had to teleport here. Or, you know what I mean, like, it would have had to just appear out of nowhere. You can't just have had someone drag it out there and put it down. Because the fire would have instantly, like, you couldn't have just dragged it there without the fire going off. In fact, like, nothing even happened to ignite the fire in the end, so it must be, like, super easy to just go off.
Like I mentioned yesterday, Jin's estimated time of death is 6 o'clock on February 9th. Based on the time his corpse appeared, it should be about 40 hours ago. Rigor mortis seems to be fading already. It's not completely gone yet, but the body has somewhat softened at this point. It should take more time to get to this stage if it's been on a rooftop in the winter. That's why I think this corpse was kept indoors, someplace warm.
Rigor mortis was already fading and the body had somewhat softened by the time it was found.
Getting a better look at it, it looks like something tied to his waist. It's like a spider's thread. No, even thinner.
My analysis concludes that this is a CNT, or carbon nanotube. Graphene sheets with the thickness of a single carbon atom. These were rolled into a cylindrical shape to make these nanotubes. The diameter is about 0.4 nanometers. A single nanometer is 1/1000th of 1 meter, so it's not visible to the naked eye.
What? But I can see it.
That's because this thread is made by bundling multiple CNTs. I've also enhanced your vision so you'd be able to see it. By the way, CNTs are extremely durable. They're elastic and hard to break, and it's said that their theoretical maximum tensile strength is 50 times that of steel. Anyway, where is the other end of the CNT connected?
That way.
Uh,
Over by that red lamp. What's this?
It's the light switch.
The CNT is tied to it.
the CNT extending from the corpse is threaded through the ceiling beam and tied to the light switch. So is that what started the reaction that would end up burning him? Or, well, his corpse?
Okay, it looks like we're pretty much done investigating here. Using the clues we've gathered so far, we should be able to solve the mystery.
You mean the mystery of how Jin's body appeared? That's what you're talking about, right?
Yep.
The truth reenactment allows you to find the truth with the information you have gathered. Answer Tama's questions with the best answer. Only by correctly answering her questions will the truth be reenacted.
Let's get on that now. First thing, about that power outage when the body appeared. Was it really just a power outage?
I was wondering about that too. The lights came back on way too quickly. Plus, if the power did go out, the stream should have cut out at the same time.
But the stream went on, no problem.
So it wasn't an outage. The lights were switched off.
So how did the lights get turned off?
Well, I think I know what did it.
I'm assuming this light switch.
That's the switch that powers the lighting.
Yeah, let's not overthink this. Someone simply walked up and flipped this switch.
But no one was near the switch when the lights went out. Let's try to think of something else.
Okay. What is that? Electric kettle. Ah, okay. Yeah, I can see
An
that.
electric kettle?
Maybe if someone turned on this kettle while the studio was using its maximum amperage.
But the breaker didn't trip.
Well, how am I supposed to know that?
There must be some other way.
Alright, because the stream didn't stop. I mean...
There were bundled CNTs tied to the body. They were routed through the ceiling beams and onto the light switch.
But a dead body can't pull strings.
No, but it can fall. From the ceiling, I mean.
Now that you mention it, I thought I heard something hit the floor right after the lights went out.
The body fell from the ceiling and tugged on the CNT, which caused the light switch to turn off.
So on to the next question. The corpse was hidden up in the ceiling, right? Then how did it fall?
The rigor mortis softened. I like that.
The culprit used the mechanism of the body softening after rigor mortis. The body must have been placed up in the ceiling like a bridge between two beams. It would stay up there while the body is still stiff. But as time passes and rigor mortis lessens, the corpse softens.
And that's what made it fall down. Now for the final question. Why did the body explode and burn?
Well, That can be explained by using the X-ray mode.
Yep.
It's because of the contraption set up inside the body.
I'm still slightly confused though, since it says the fuel goes off with even the slightest impact, which obviously the fall and, it hitting the ground would have done, but it stayed like that for at least like 30 seconds, 45 seconds before it started burning. So it was never quite that good in chemistry, so I don't know if that's realistic, but that's just confusing me a bit.
The ignition agent combusted from the impact of the body hitting the ground. The fire went up the coiled fuse and onto the substance that triggered a thermite reaction. The substance was eventually ignited, causing a huge explosion.
So that interval between the fall and explosion was because of the time it took for the fire to reach the end of the fuse.
Okay.
I get it. It was hard to find traces of that trick because it was such an analog method.
All right, I think we're starting to figure things out here.
I mean, the thing I'm still most confused about is how on earth would the body just fall so perfectly and lay flat on the ground in exactly that position as the culprit wanted? That's the most unrealistic part. Like, forget about the nanotubes and the agent and fire inside of the body. How did it land perfectly straight?
So you can turn off this VR space now.
No, not yet. That was just a rehearsal. We still have the main show.
What do you mean?
We're recreating the culprit's actions.
Are you telling me to do that?
You're the only actor here, aren't you?
Actor?
So, I'm Tama, the director and camera operator. Now that I'm in the director's chair, I'm not going to tolerate shoddy acting. So keep that in mind.
Are we recording something?
Of course we are. We're testing a theory here, so we need to create something that can be viewed objectively.
I have no idea what you're going on about.
Shut your stupid mouth, you third-rate bit part actor! Are you too much of a moron to figure this out without the director having to tell you everything?
But...
Just zip it and play the culprit. If we're doing this, we're going for the Academy Award.
Academy? Like, the nuts?
Enough! Let's get this started! Ready? Action!
Hi! I'm, the culprit who killed Jin. Now, prepare to witness an amazing show featuring this corpse.
Not only is your acting amateurish, but I don't even understand what kind of character you're trying to play here.
I am an amateur.
Well, this is just the beginning, so I'll give you a pass for now.
Let's start with the positioning of the body. Where and how was it placed?
Well... it was right here. The body was placed so it was hung like a bridge between two beams.
You can place it like this because it was stiff from rigor mortis. So that's how they did the light trick.
Carbon nanotubes, CNT, were tied to the body. The CNT went up the beams and extended downward, onto the light switch.
CNT is too thin to be seen with the naked eye, so no one noticed it.
The other problem with that is, if the CNT needs to be strong enough and rigid enough so that it actually pulls up the light switch, but stretchable enough so that it doesn't just break or stop once the light switch has been turned on. It needs to extend for the body to go downwards all the way to the ground. At which point there has to be you'd expect it to be some kind of break point, I suppose, where the body would just somewhat get turned. It can't just fall straight down because you need the pull to get the light switch up. So I'm seeing less and less credibility in this theory of the body landing straight.
I've got it all set up. Now I just need to wait for the rigor mortis to subside.
Hey, aren't you supposed to be in character?
Boy! I sure hope the corpse gets softer soon. It needs to be soft and squishy. like an octopus!
This scene makes no sense. I'm cutting it out.
You made me do it!
You made yourself do it.
And after time passed, rigor mortis began to subside.
The body falls, and the impact sets off the ignition agent inside it. The fire travels up the fuse line.
Soon after, a staff member turns on the lights.
Bam! A body appears, as if it teleported in out of nowhere. Sometime later, the burning fuse inside the body reaches the explosives. And that is the truth behind the corpse's sudden appearance and explosion!
Cut! Good work. I got some nice footage of the reenactment.
I still don't understand why the acting was necessary. It all makes sense now. That corpse didn't teleport here after all.
Of course it didn't. Though the culprit obviously wanted it to seem that way.
Half of a body just suddenly appearing out of nowhere, just like the Philadelphia experiment. Someone went through all that trouble to make it look like something strange occurred.
I think they also wanted to draw as much attention as possible to that sign. All so they could spread that QR video.
Don't have anything to look at in particular here, do we? No. Alright, Tama. About the time rigor mortis would subside.
The culprit must have wanted the body to fall during the live stream, right? It would have been pointless otherwise. But could they really predict when rigor mortis would dissipate so accurately?
The culprit didn't put the corpse up on the ceiling beams while it was completely stiff. It had to have been after the body had started to soften, just slightly. That way, they could estimate that the body would fall in a few hours or so. The stream was scheduled for a whole 6 hours. The culprit was fine as long as the body fell sometime during that period.
About the reason the corpse's cross-section was facing downward.
That body fell from the studio ceiling. If it fell sideways when it landed, the culprit's plans would have been ruined.
Yes, like you said, it would have been pointless unless the sign was standing erect.
Wording.
Just like a man's you-know-what.
Again with that joke? Besides, it is not useless when it's not erect.
Exactly.
What?
There was another purpose to the sign. It's the same reason darts and rockets have tails.
I see what you mean. Yeah, actually, fair point.
I get it. The cut surface would naturally face the ground because of that sign.
The sign would need to be quite heavy, though.
It was meant to control the body's posture as it fell.
Why did the culprit blow up the corpse?
Their goal was to make it seem like a supernatural phenomenon. That's why they couldn't leave the CNT on the scene.
If they couldn't leave the CNT, they burned the nanotubes, I see.
Because it would give away the trick?
Right.
So that's why they caused a thermite reaction and destroyed the CNT.
Okay. CNT is highly flammable carbon material. It doesn't stand a
So,
chance against
to wrap it
3000
all up-
degree temperature, but it bonds with oxygen to create carbon dioxide, which helps extinguish the flame.
The culprit's motive was to make this seem like a supernatural phenomenon and to spread the QR video, right?
I don't know if that's all there is to it, but probably.
I wonder why Jin was chosen.
Who knows?
Where could his left side be?
It hasn't been found yet. Anyway, starting our search with the people who might have the intel we need is the #1 rule of investigation, right?
Like who?
Jin's right half was up in the studio ceiling the whole time we were shooting the show. There must be someone who knew about it, or at least noticed it.
You mean the director, Shinpei Wagai?
Right.
Where is he now?
I've tracked him down using his smartphone GPS. He's in Akihabara right now, at the maid cafe Sunfish Pocket.
Where we'll go to in the next episode. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. Till then, bye.